Hello there, it's Jay here from Jay's Vintage Junk, and we're back on with the repair of all the lot of customer returns. I must admit, I've done a few off camera already, just really simple ones. Basically, you remember the three of these. We had the one with the HM prison number on the back, and one with a cracked lid, and one which just, it said it was intermittent. Well, that one that's intermittent I've ran for about 2 days, and it's this one on top here, and it hasn't faltered once. I've had the radio on it, I must have played about a dozen CDs through it, and there's nothing wrong with it at all. It's absolutely fine. The one that came from HM Prison, oh dear me, that was really beat up. When I actually took it apart, there was only 2 posts holding the whole thing together. The entire case is actually cracked on it. In fact, I've took the laser unit out of it here. If you look, this is why I haven't bothered trying to repair it or do anything with it. The lens is actually missing off the laser there. You can spot that on the camera. Should be a little plastic lens on the top of there. That was actually missing. But I did remove its lid and put its lid on that one. If you remember, it's basically, this one's brand new. So it's got a slight scuff on the lid, but that's now, like I said, that literally is brand new. If you look, it still even has the thing on the laser from new. And the cable's still bound up. So them two are, I'll get them on eBay. Yeah, I think I'll try them on eBay, see if I can get $5 each for them. And I've also got this one. I'm a bit gutted about this one actually. This one, if you remember, we had a quick look in the other video, and the spindle there had dropped right down inside it, and all that had happened is there was 2 little posts in there, 2 little plastic posts. This is why I didn't bother filming it, because it was such a simple repair. There's 2 little plastic posts in there, and they just snapped off, and literally a little dab of super glue on each one held them in place with a weight while it all dried off. Left it overnight, reassembled it, good as new. Unfortunately, and I'm absolutely gutted, when I was reassembling it I slipped and I've actually snapped the back off the iPod dock there, and there's nothing I can do about it. It's broke the PCB where it solders, where the wires solder onto the back of that dock there. It's actually snapped the little piece of PCB off flush with where it mounts. I'm absolutely gutted about that, because apart from that, this is basically, it was a brand new unit. What I might do, I think that's the same as on them Bush little iPod docks I've got loads and loads of. If I can find one of them that's beaten up but does actually have its lightning connector on it, I think they're the same. I might pinch it off one of them and actually put it in that. Because apart from that, it's a really nice unit. The radio's good on it. The CD player works perfectly on it. I'm absolutely gutted about that. Anyway, let's get this. I'll shift that out of the way. And I'll get something in, we can have a look at it for today's video. What I thought we would do is we would have a look, maybe one, maybe more, depending on what we find, but let's get you down on some of these ones. If you remember from the previous video, we tried these and they were absolutely dead. They're quite nice because they've actually got Bluetooth on them. So basically you've got a CD player, a radio, and Bluetooth receiver. So you can obviously pair your phone up to it and play your music from your phone. And if you remember, let's find a figure of 8 cable we can have on the bench. This one will do. We don't need that transformer in there for the moment, because that was to power that black one. Let's plug that in. And I think if we remember correctly, these were completely dead. Yeah, dead as a can of spam. That should be on Bluetooth at the moment. That's off. Then we should have that should be CD and the line input. Oh, and then it has another off on it as well. So where's radio? Oh, FM there. So it's BT, FM, CD stretch line in and off. But obviously it does absolutely nothing. So I think what we will do is we'll crack into one of these and see what we can find. It doesn't appear to, no, there's no power in you off like 12 volts or anything, so we can. Ooh, Yeah, that doesn't bode well, does it? And it does look like it would run on 12 volts from C batteries, C-size batteries, but let's get inside it and see what we can find. Obviously I have got the mains disconnected there, if you can see, just to make absolutely sure we'll switch the power off there. But interesting to see what we find inside here. So far, most of these things, there's virtually nothing in them at all. There's like a tiny little circuit board and a lot of space. So I haven't repaired consumer type stuff like this for quite some time, and it's interesting to see quite how down to a price they've actually got it now. It really is very, 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 very cheap. I mean, when most of the stuff I was working on when I used to buy this was probably 90s, late 90s, early 2000s. This stuff's even cheaper than that stuff, and that I considered as cheap. Right, let's turn it over. I want to find out what's rattling around inside it as well. Okay, this is going to be an absolute bugger to even get into, because it's all... I'll have to release this, I think that's for the CD unit. Oh no, that's for the front display. Oh, that's horrible. Because we don't need any of this to actually just try and like get the radio to play. So I'm trying to disconnect as much of this as we can, so we can actually get into the actual circuit. I want to disconnect that ribbon cable there, because that's the laser. I don't want to risk damaging that. There we are, we're in. I'll have to break some of this hot snot away to give us a bit of extra room on these cables. There we go. Right. I want to put it so obviously I'll leave the speakers connected, so when we do get some power in there, we can actually hear that it's working. Because obviously we'll try the radio first, I think. So that should be the radio. Now, I can't see anything too amiss down here straight away anyway. You can see how sparse it is. There literally is nothing on this board. We've basically just got a power supply and amplifier section here, I think. I'm guessing that the drive electronics for the actual CD mechanism are probably underneath. They're probably all surface mount underneath. So I think this basically is our power supply and power amplifier here. That is basically our radio there. There must be a radio IC under there somewhere, I think, to make all that work. This is incredibly simple. I've never heard of these makes of capacitors either. JWCO. Well, apparently they're 105 degree rated, which is actually surprising. Right, what we want to find out, are we getting any AC out of the transformer? That's the first thing we want to know. So we've got a bad transformer, it's going to be pretty much curtains, I think. I don't think it'll be worth buying new transformers for them or anything. We'll disconnect that. I'll just find a couple of legs or something I can shove in there so I can make a contact to what have we got we can use? A couple of them would do. Because they're nice springy legs, they'll work nicely. Basically I'm just pushing some pins down there so I've got something to connect my probes to, and I'll set my test meter to AC. We'll plug the power into it. Obviously we'll be careful what we're going to touch here, and we'll just see if we get an AC voltage. It should be probably about 12-15 volts AC there, because that's straight off the transformer. Like I said, obviously the rectification and everything is done But I can't see any diodes, that's quite odd. But it's all done in that section there, basically. Set the meter to AC. We'll plug the AC power in. Switch on. And we should be able to see if we get any AC out here. So it should only be... Yeah, and I get about 12 volts, which is about right. So we're getting AC, definitely getting AC generated. We'll switch off again. We're definitely getting AC generated by the transformer, so we know the transformer's alright. So that's a good thing. I think we're going to have to bite the bullet and take this board out and have a bit of a look at this board, because what I can't see on here at the moment are any rectifier diodes or even a little rectifier bridge, and we need to find that and test that that's alright, because we know we've got AC getting onto the board. But in fact, what we could do, actually, we can connect that back up and we'll just see if we can find ourselves some DC on this board. We can have a look on some of it, right, that cap there that's bent over. Actually, I think that cap's alright there. We can have a look on there, see if we just get some DC on it. In fact, that's the main, that looks like it's probably the main smoother there. Should we do that, or should we pull the board out and have a look? Let's pull the board out and have a look. Yeah, we're switched off, so we're alright. Obviously, you do have to be careful when you're working on mains equipment that is actually connected to the mains. I am actually isolated there. I have got it switched off at the wall, even though it is still plugged in here. And I've been doing this for a very long time. Obviously, if you're a beginner, I recommend that you make sure everything is completely disconnected. Although it does make fault finding and diagnosis a bit harder. It is a lot easier when you've actually got power into it. Although, you know, you could use, say, a bench power supply, but on there. But then you're not necessarily finding the fault. I mean, this thing might work absolutely fine on a 12 volt DC input, but we want it to work on the mains input. That's why we're looking for the fault this way. Right, so, oh dear me, there we go. So we've got a hell of a lot of surface mount electronics on the back of this thing. If you can see from the front, like I said, it looked like there was absolutely nothing, but basically what we've got here is we've got all that there will be what basically drives the CD. That's the CD player, possibly that IC there as well, although that could be the radio IC. That there is the Bluetooth module, and that's really nice. If these things are unrepairable, that's recoverable. That'd be easy enough to take out, and that could be used in other projects, because that's just like an absolutely bog standard Bluetooth module there. I mean, I get that out, I can get a model number off it, and I'll be able to get a pin out for it, no problem at all. That's quite cool, actually. So that's the other nice thing about these. If they're not repairable, there's so many useful parts that you can salvage out of them. I mean, we'll have a power amplifier on there, and I'm guessing that's through hole. It's probably that IC there with the large heat sink on it on the other side of the PCB, right there. Like I said, there's that Bluetooth module salvageable. The mains transformer, when we've just tested that works. That's definitely salvageable. We've got two nice little 4 ohm 3 watt speakers there. They're salvageable. The CD mechanism salvageable. It may be, because they're fairly generic. They're fairly standard, these cheap CD mechanisms. We may very well be able to use that in another player if we couldn't fix this one. So yeah, let's get to it and see if we can find out why on earth this thing isn't working. Again, what I'm probably going to do, I'm going to have it connected up like this. I'll switch it on, and I've identified the bridge rectifier here. It's a tiny little surface mount device. So what we will do is, in fact, I don't know whether that side of the bridge rectifier there is making very good contact. I don't think the solder's quite taken when it was originally soldered there. I'm not sure. I can't quite see because of the light, but it's certainly that side there looks a lot better than that side there. We'll give a try anyway, and we'll see whether we can find out what's gone on with that bridge rectifier there. We'll leave that set to AC at the moment. We'll switch on, make sure everything, we're not shorting on anything, nothing's going to touch anything that's got mains on it, and no, we're fine there. We'll switch on, and we should have, on this side here, we should have about 12 volts AC. Oops, let's get this into a position where I can easily, there we go, that's better. So on this side here, we should have about 12 volts AC. We don't seem to have about 12 volts AC there. Let me just turn the meter down a little bit. I'm just seem to be getting about 1 volt AC there. Now when we're disconnected, let's do it again actually. Let's switch that off. Let's disconnect the AC from the actual board and measure that there. Ah, that's why, because I'm an idiot. And I've said in many of these videos I can be an idiot, because I've not reconnected the transformer to the PCB, so we was just getting a bit of an erroneous reading there. That's yeah, that's my mistake. So let's connect the power to the PCB. Like that. Now let's measure, see whether we've got about 12 volts AC on that side of the bridge rectifier. We'll switch that back up a bit. And yes we do. Yes we do. In fact, we've got about 13 volts, just over 13 volts AC there. So let's see if we've got any DC on the other side of it. So we'll set the meter over onto DC. I'll swap my leads. It doesn't really matter, it'll just give us a minus on the meter, but this side's negative, this side's positive. So let us see if we get any output on this side of it. Oh dear, that was interesting, wasn't it? When I went across the bridge, then it sprang into life, and we got 17 volts then, which was just right. See if we can get it to do it again. I think we may have a bit of a loose connection somewhere. Yeah. Just turn this down a sec. Well, that was unexpected, wasn't it? So we've got a dry joint or something round this area here, because as you can hear, it's now playing. That don't sound too bad. I might try just a really cheap little trick with this and see if this is going to work for us. So we've obviously got a bit of a dry joint around this section here somewhere, because just fiddling about around the bridge rectifier there, I did say I thought them contacts on that side didn't look so hot. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to get a bit of liquid flux. I'm going to paint a bit of liquid flux around this area here. And I'm just going to get my hot air, and I'm just going to play a bit of hot air around this area. and basically just reflow the solder. It's a really dirty technique, this, but rather than touch up each individual solder here, bear in mind that most of this work is actually surface mount. I think we're going to get on a lot better if we use a little bit of hot air rather than the iron. And like I said, I'm just going to paint a little bit of liquid solder around the areas I'm most interested in, because I'm sure it's around this area. And then we'll go in with a bit of hot air. And the flux will just help anything flow that needs to, really. You can always clean this off after if we want to. There we go. So this is where I'm sure the actual issue lies, around that area there. Get the old hot air and get it up to temp. Yeah, I'm just under 400 there. That should be absolutely plenty. Obviously, the only thing you've got to be careful here, we've got the plastic of the case around here, so we don't want to go absolutely mad and risk melting the case, but I'm going to pay particular attention to around that little bridge rectifier. You can tell it's working because you instantly see the solder just go shiny for a second around where you're working, basically just as it goes molten. That should be all we need. And we'll just let that cool off a second. Don't want to touch it too soon until because obviously if you was to touch it and the solder's still molten, you'd risk actually shifting one of them surface mount components out of place. So we'll just give that a second or so to cool off. And we'll try it again. And we'll try mounting it back in the actual machine and have a bit of a tap round it. And if it keeps on going, we'll have a go at reassembling it and see if we can get the rest of the unit to actually play okay. Let's have a... That's not too bad now. Still a little bit warm, but I think that'll do. So it's still working. And switch off. So we don't want to be handling too much round with it plugged into the mains and switched on. We only do that when we absolutely need to. These screws back in. So then we'll fire the radio back up and we'll have a bit of a tap round the board, see if we can get the fault to come back, and if we can't, we'll continue the rebuild process. I'm wondering if this one's had a bit of a drop or a knock or something, and that's what caused the problem in the first place. I think that's the wrong screw for that. I think that's one of the case screws I'm trying to screw in that hole. Oh no, it's not. No, it's not. It is the right screw. It's just feels a bit tighter going back in than it did coming out. There we go. So the last of these screws. There we go. Let's give it another try. There we go. And if we give a I think we couldn't be happy that's repaired. That seems to work alright. Right, let's put the rest of it back together and see how much of the rest of the unit actually works. And what's that one out of? Oh, that's out of that other player. I was getting confused then. Right. Now let's look at the fun of putting this thing back together. So the first thing we need to connect is the laser at the back there. Make sure we get that in. It's I'm sorry if I'm covering the shots here, but it's very tricky to do this and to film it and show you everything. But you get the idea what I'm doing. Basically, I've just got that ribbon cable there connected up. I've got to connect this one in there. That's a nice easy one. Then I've got this one here, which is the front display that we need to connect up. Again, these aren't too bad, these connectors, because they just literally push in. Okay, now let's just have a final little look, make sure we've got everything connected that we should, which I think we have. Let's close it back down. Let's see, yeah, let's put the screws in it. Let's be adventurous, shall we? We've got everything going together there. That looks okay. Oh, that one's not quite in. There it is now. Put these screws back in. First one. That's the second one. One. That one. That one. Push that back together like that, and there we go. Right, let's see if it all works. That's the power in there. Switch on. So our power light comes on there. There we look. So yeah, the radio works fine. Switch it to Bluetooth. Well, in fact, let's see if we can get my phone to connect to it. Let's see if my phone will connect to it. Let's have a look now. Settings, Bluetooth. Let's see if we can discover it. I don't know if you have to pair it to something, I'm not sure. It's not finding anything. I can hear it actually chirping. Ah, there we go. I think it's found it. Let's have a look there. It's come up on my phone there. Yep, connected to it. So let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can play something from my phone. I don't have any music on this phone, but I'm sure we can perhaps go onto YouTube or something and see if it'll play the audio from a YouTube track through it. Anything will do. Let's see if it'll play the audio of this. A bit of Red Dwarf. I must admit I don't normally play stuff through my phone, but it should work this. Bit quiet. There we go. So that's playing Bluetooth from my... stop that before we get in trouble. Well, that was playing Bluetooth from my phone, so we know the Bluetooth part of it works. Let's... I suppose I'll better try the line in as well. Where's my... Oh, what have I done with that cable I was using the other day to test the line in? I'm not sure what I've done with it now. What the bloody hell have I done with that cable? In fact, where's that other cable gone? That cable might do. Oops, yeah, that'll do. So if we push that in the line in. Yeah, line in works. Let's see if the CD player works on it, shall we? Open the door. Put the CD in. Shut it. It spins the disc up. Let's see if it's going to play it. Let's press play.
As it fell out on a bright holiday, small hail from the sky did fall.
I must say, they don't have a bad sound for a tiny little cheap plastically unit like that. It's not bad. Let's try skipping. Yep. That seems to work alright. And to be honest, that's pretty much most of the faults you find on these custom returns. They are literally as simple to fix as that. I mean, that was real-time repair, and what's it taken me? It's taken me about 30 minutes, and that's with my rambling and what have you as well. I mean, if I was doing that, I was just working on it, I had a bit of music playing in the background. What, we're talking probably about 15 minutes, something like that, to fix it. And nice unit, really. I mean, I'll probably ask, I know I might ask a tenner each for them. Possibly, I might try 15 and see whether I get any interest. With the fact that they have got Bluetooth on them, and it is a really nice unit, actually. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there for now. So that's the next little project. So basically, we've got 3 units here now which are ready to go. I can get them listed on eBay. I'm really miffed about that other Bosch unit that I've broken the that one, which I've broken the lightning connector on. I'm gutted about that, because that's a really nice unit. It sounds good as well. It plays CDs perfectly, you know, everything. I'm a bit peed about that, but this is what happens. If I can fix it, I will do. If I can't, it may stay with me, that one, and just be used as a powered speaker. We'll get on to some other stuff, I think, in the next video. I'll dig something out that's we've not looked at yet. We might even go through one of them lower boxes and see what else we can have a look at. So I'm going to leave it there for now. I hope you enjoyed that little update and that little repair. So thanks for watching, and goodbye.